Sorry about that, guys. Got a wee bit upset there. I'll say this is part two. I'm going to start slightly back again so that you get the flow of this. Past life gets to me, but it's important. So if you've come on to part two, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you've come to this and wondering what the hell's going on, go to part one first. I explained the past life dream and then got upset, and then for some reason the computer actually just went off. I have no idea why, but I was getting upset, so maybe White Storm was like, you know what, calm it a bit, woman. I assume that anyway. So let's get back to later on in the dream. I was in a camp and in a big teepee with lots of people and was presented to what looked like the chief of the tribe. He had kind eyes and I felt he would look after me. Yet there was one woman with eyes of stone, and she was the person who taught me how to do things. I could never do anything right and she beat me a lot. Then the dream switched to gatherings where I was more part of it and sitting near the chief. I liked his laugh and his kindly eyes. I wanted him to love me like he loved the others. I started to understand the language and I knew who was clever and who was silly. I could barely remember my family now. They had never caught up and rescued me. I had believed that for so long, but now I didn't. The last thing I remember as I woke up was approaching the chief as he lay down to sleep. I was on my knees and in my head I asked for his love. I wanted to be his family. He opened his pink eyes and I said to him, I am no longer Mary Campbell. When I woke up, I was very confused as to where I was, but Jim was sleeping softly with me in bed and the dawn was breaking. I felt exhausted and knew that this was an important dream. I got a coffee and started to think about it. I've been aware of Native American past lives, but this is the first one that I woke from with a name. When Jim came down, I told him the dream and said my name was Mary Campbell. He said it was a common name, but why not try and Google it and see what comes up? What happened next floored me. The Google search showed up a story of a child called Mary Campbell, who was one of the last white children stolen by natives in the USA. She was taken and forced to walk hundreds of miles to be gifted to a Delaware chief whose granddaughter had died. Then the tribe was displaced by the government to Ohio, where they had a small partition of land near the river. Mary Campbell eventually forgot about her birth family and became an important member of the tribe. She was gifted her moccasins, and there's even a children's book called The Beaded Moccasins that is a fictional account of her life. There is a Mary Campbell cave in Ohio. I read all this with a lump in my throat in total awe. The drawing of her on the book cover was so like me as a child in this life. Red hair, freckles, blue eyes. I cried my eyes out as I read that. After a few years, her birth family found her and took her back to her old ways. This was arranged away from her new family, her new spirituality, her new sense of being. I couldn't stop crying for myself because I knew I was and had been Mary Campbell. That will never be lost to me. The whole night felt like years. There's so many things, so many things that were in it that I couldn't put down. Making foods and, fighting with other kids, and my feet being very, very sore and scratched, and it was just, there was so much in it. But when Jim almost joked, well, it is a common name, but why not look it up? And I just put in Mary Campbell and Native American or something like that, and all this information come up on Mary Campbell's life, and there was even a book that I went clicked on in Amazon, and it was a fictional account of her life, which I believe a lot of children in Ohio actually read. It's part of their history. And there were other things in the book that freaked me out, like certain things like the day she was taken, I think was the 21st of May, which is actually my birthday. And there were other things about names that still resonate in my own family, and it was just overwhelming. I think I walked about in a bit of a daze for like about 4 or 5 days after that. But it explained a lot. It maybe explained why White Storm. I mean, I'd known other Native American lives, I'd felt them. White Storms sort of indicated quite a few insights into a Lakota life. But there's things where I've followed that path, and I've done prayers and sweat lodges and whatever, and to be honest, not a lot of it felt new to me. It felt as though I'd maybe done these things hundreds of times before. So finding the name Mary Campbell and finding who she was a wonderful gift from Spirit, and I'll never forget it. So I hope you like the videos. As I say, I was getting upset, and then the computer just went poof. So there we go. I'll just take it as it is. I don't know how to edit, so that's why it's in 2 parts. And I thank you, everybody that's maybe stayed for part 2. But it is something wonderful for me, and I hope you enjoy it. So many blessings. I have another past life story that I'll tell you at some point, which is also quite an amazing one, the way it turned out. Anyway, let me know about your past life dreams or feelings in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going on this. Many blessings now. Bye.